Senator, thank you so much for joining us. You voted to confirm Justice Ginsburg in 1993. And earlier this week, you said it was one of the most consequential and impactful votes of your entire career. Tell us why.
Well, I'm a lawyer. I've argued cases before federal courts of appeals, state courts of appeals, and I recognize a judge who has the abilities and the to do the things they should. Justice Ginsburg was all of that. It's interesting, you look at the pictures you show of her and her size, she was a giant. And I look at when even her dissents in the Lilly Ledbetter case are powerful dissents, saying women must be given equal rights in the workplace. That led to the drafting and passing of the Lilly Ledbetter law. And I was proud to write that law, but I was also proud of the number of senators who came and joined on it because of Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Lilly Ledbetter will be joining us later in the hour to talk about those extraordinary times. I want to play something Republican Senator Mitt Romney, someone you know very well, said yesterday after he announced he would support a vote on the nominee.
I recognize that we may have a court which has more of a conservative bent than it's had over the last few decades. But my liberal friends have, over many decades, gotten very used to the idea of having a liberal court. And that's not written in the stars.
It is true that this next justice could move the court sharply to the right. But isn't that the way the system was set up?
No, I think what the system was set up to have the Supreme Court be objective and not bound to partisan politics. But look what the president's doing. I mean, it's a disgrace. He says he's going there to pay respects to Justice Ginsburg. He's showing no respect to her at all. Even while she's lying in state, he says he's going to make a political announcement. He's picking Saturday. He made it very clear he thought his ratings would be higher. At least wait until the woman is buried next week before you do that. They've turned it into a political toy, and the reason they figure they can get one vote to overturn Roe versus Wade. They think that they can overturn the Affordable Care Act if they have just one more vote on the Supreme Court. They're going to have an argument on that in the next few days. And look what that means. Here we are in the midst of a COVID crisis where the administration has dropped the ball terribly, and yet they want to get somebody on there so they can do away with the Affordable Care Act, do away with coverage for pre-existing condition, do away with coverage of those people who are being harmed by COVID. I mean, the whole thing, I think the way they're doing this, rushing it through, of course, we could have a nominee to fill the place, but to rush it this way, to make it totally political, that is going to demean the Supreme Court and all the federal court systems. I know when I used to argue cases before federal courts and courts of appeals, I never looked at the judges and said, well, that's a Republican or that's a Democrat. I assume they're going to base it on the facts or the law. But Donald Trump is saying we can only have judges that do what Donald Trump wants. It's going to take a generation to get over that.
Imagine if we had such a swift and coordinated response to COVID as the president has had to finding the next nominee. Back in 1993, Ginsburg was confirmed 96-3. Justice Scalia, one of the most conservative justices, confirmed unanimously back in 1986. You were among those who voted for him. Now that we have a Senate that is lining up for their side without even knowing who the nominee is, are the days of crossing the aisle something we're not going to see for another generation?
If we don't see it, then I think the Senate will end up being as damaged as the Supreme Court is being damaged by this. Look at when they stopped Merrick Garland, you had statements by Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham that we can't do this just 9 months before an election, but we can do it 9 days or 9 weeks before an election if it's a Republican. It is destroyed a lot of the credibility of the Senate. The Senate should be the conscience of the nation. It's being anything but. What they could have done so easily said, look, let's wait till the election, and on January 20th, whether it's Donald Trump or Joe Biden as president, let them name a person they want to go on the Supreme Court. I think the American people would take some comfort in that. They know that we're actually following precedent and not making a partisan tool of the Supreme Court. As a lawyer, as one who's argued cases before courts of appeals, our own Supreme Court at home, I just can't think of anything that is doing more damage. Handling this as a complete political ploy or talking point for Donald Trump's re-election. I can't think of anything that is so damaging to the Supreme Court. And I voted for both Republican justices and Democratic justices, but we followed the procedure. We had honest hearings. We had people who showed some promise.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.